Hi everyone, it's Tish. Hey, I have a bit of exciting news that I wanted to share with you guys. I am offering a new Reiki service at the studio. This is Reiki with binaural beats. I'm really excited about it. I've been working with somebody lately who creates meditation music inlaid with binaural beats, and he's really opened up my mind to this way of healing. And if he is okay with it, I will put the link to his YouTube channel in the comment section below. But I don't want to mention it until I get his okay. All right. Anyway, so I've been doing research, studying about binaural beats, brain entrainment, and I'm really excited. During my research, I heard about this particular book, The High Performance Mind by Anna Weiss, and it is just fascinating. I love the book. If during the course of this video, if you're interested, don't take my word for it. I would suggest go to YouTube, go to Amazon and go through, the description and the reviews and see if it sounds right for you. One of the things I love about it too is she gives a lot of different meditations in the book. And I love some really good healing meditations. She has quite a few in here. And a little side note, if you are reading, whether it's this book or any book with meditations, or you find a script online, one of the things I like to suggest to people is to use the voice memos on your phone and speak the meditation into your phone. Make sure you give yourself enough pausing or pauses. And then that way you can just pop in your earbuds and then guide yourself into meditation. So you don't have to try and read and feel into the meditation. I've been doing that for years with meditation. I can easily slip in and out. But for a lot of people, it takes practice. All right. So anyway, that being said, I have been fascinated studying binaural beats, brain entrainment. There are 4 levels we're going to talk about. So we have the beta, alpha, theta, and delta brainwaves. So beta is going to be the conscious mind. Beta, so the awake state. When somebody is, and it resonates within its own frequency. So when somebody is anxious, for example, they may be at the higher levels of frequency within the beta state. Otherwise, we can think of it as the conscious mind. Then there's the alpha state. The alpha state is going to be more of like that daydreaming state, a meditative state. When we get into the lower frequencies, we're getting down into the theta state. So this will be the sleep state. And maybe the state, where you're dreaming, but you're in the sleep state. And then the delta state would be like that deep sleep that's dreamless. So for those that are lucky enough to get into that delta state, that's awesome. All right. So there is research that has been done, and I'm sure it's probably still ongoing. So you can research healing or Reiki and binaural beats or brain waves. And you can see these studies or, studies on and bring these studies up to see for yourself. It's really interesting. And even the book that I showed you, I believe it was written in 1995. And there were books before this one, and there have been many after. So again, it talks about those 4 different conscious states or subconscious, unconscious. Because the theta is considered to be the subconscious, the delta is considered to be the unconscious. So theta, the sub, the delta, the unconscious, or the unconscious collective, or the collective unconscious. So also when we're looking at these, so we have the 2 lower states, the sub and the unconscious. The alpha state, as explained in the high performance mind, is the bridge to the beta state, the conscious mind. And, where we're bringing the information up. And these studies are showing that when a healer So I see, Reiki practitioner, different healers are working with their client or the recipient. That some of these studies are showing that the brain waves of the practitioner are mirrored in their client. So just by the practitioner, it's energy work. So we are in our work client's energy. So being with our particular state of mind and the different wavelengths in which we are going through during the course of the session, that we are also affecting the wavelengths or the brain waves of the client. So, whether we see this as an alignment or being a coherence within the two, it's pretty interesting stuff. And especially when we're taking it into the science, right, where people are actually hooked up, where we can see the different levels of the brainwave patterns. All right. So, and it's believed that the lower states that we are in, if you were to search us online, we'll say alpha is the best state to be in for healing. Reading the High Performance Mind, she talks about the awakened mind, which there are books with that same title from, I believe his name is, don't hold me to this, but C. Maxwell Cade, I believe, C-A-D-E. And I believe he was Anna Wise's mentor with this. Anyway, so books have been written before, books have been written since. But she talks about the awakened mind, in which optimally for healing for self and for others, that we are using those 4 different brain waves during the course of the session. So we're not just, we're tapping into all levels, not just one particular state as we go. All right. So that's just the practitioner and the client. So when we talk about binaural beats are these particular tones set within the different frequencies. So let's say that we are listening to meditation with theta state binaural beats inlaid into the music. So what we would do in session is each of us, myself and my client, or you, if you're the person, one of the ones coming in for session, we would be wearing wireless headphones. I would place a particular music, meditation music with these inlaid binaural beats. We will be simultaneously listening to the same set of music. I love this. So with me already, when I'm doing Reiki, it is a symphony in my mind. For those that have worked with me, you know how my hands just how they just kind of flow. I sometimes feel like I was a conductor in a previous lifetime, because I just feel like I'm using my hands, which I am. It's Reiki, but in that conductor type of a fashion. So then bringing in the binaural beats was just like I could hear the angels singing. It just felt like that little missing piece or something. And it's definitely an additional tool. So Reiki with binaural beats is not going to replace my Sansu Reiki. It's another service that I'm offering. If somebody may be more inclined to do a binaural beat. So for those that have come in for a Sansu session, and Sansu Reiki is my specific modality of Reiki. You know that I really like for the client to actively participate in their own healing, as opposed to doing a standard session and then sending the person home. They may feel lighter, better just from a standard session. But I'm just one of those people. I really like for my clients to participate, because then they get to learn whatever the visualization, the breath work, whatever it is that we're doing, and they can reproduce that when they get home. So they can do continued healing. All right. With Reiki with binaural beats, it's going to be different. We're both going to have the headphones on listening to this music. I will lead you prior to getting on the table, placing the headphones. We'll talk about what your goals, your intentions, those kinds of things are. So we can work with that prior to going into the actual binaural beat session. So the idea here is that as we're listening to the binaural beats, it is allowing us to get into particular brainwave patterns. We're actually, even though we may be listening to Delta, for example, we're still going to be using the different varying degrees of brainwaves. But we are setting the tone, because they alternate between the right and the left. So, but it's just going to bring us maybe quicker into those particular states of mind or states of consciousness. And it's believed that in those lower states is when there's this opening for healing. So when we can be on the table with a particular goal in mind of healing, then we can use that in those more opened lower states to bring that into being and to even bring it up to the conscious mind, whereas the alpha state being the bridge, bringing it up into the beta brain, into the conscious mind. So I'm really excited. I've also been doing this for distant Reiki, where a client and I will both, I let them know when I'm getting started. I'm one of those with distant Reiki. I like to be real time. Reiki 2 practitioners, we can program it, send it out different times. I like to be real time when I know that my client is still restful, whether they're going to sleep or just taking it easy on the couch. So I can feel their energy right there in real time. So both of us listening to whatever track that we're listening to, this meditation music, again with the binaural beats inlaid, through the course of the session. I love it. It feels so good. All right. So thinking about the different states, and with a high performance mind, one of the things that Anna Weiss talks about here is a sensualization of our healing. And this reminds me, if you're watching this and you've taken my class, Manifesting Through Chakra Alignment, we bring it into being, into the different chakras. Because if we're saying a meditation every day, but all we're doing is speaking the words or saying the words, it kind of, to me, it feels like it just gets caught up into the mind or into the intellect. If we are going to be using things like The Secret, attracting abundance, whatever it may be within our lives, it's more than just making a declarative statement. We want to be able to see it. We want to be able to say it. The throat is your truth center. We want to be able to feel it from the heart center, stand at our power in the solar plexus, all the way down to grounding it within the root. So we're bringing that into the chakras as a way to place that affirmation within our being. So when I think about this, I was thinking about this reading through the book about the sensualization, where we are feeling the healing or the whatever it is that we're manifesting while we're in the state, in these lower, more opened states of being, of the mind. So hopefully, for those watching, if you're interested, just click the book now, or if I plan on putting this on YouTube, you can look down at my website. But, let me know if you're interested in doing something like this. Here's the other thing, is I'm reading through this book. I'm somebody that likes to, I need to be able to visualize it for better understanding for myself. So as I'm reading through and I'm visualizing those 4 different states of mind, of consciousness, and I'm seeing how my own brain is interpreting those brain waves. And it made me think about communication between the spirit and the physical part of who we are. So I've been looking at this up until reading this and seeing it from this particular perspective. Prior to that, I see it as the brain, and then I see the mind as an extension to the brain. And the mind being the bridge between the spiritual self and the physical self. So the mind doing the translation, if you will, of spirit speak into the physical brain, bringing that energy into words so we can articulate what it is that we're seeing, hearing, feeling, etc. So with this book, The High Performance Mind, as I'm seeing these brain waves, I'm seeing it as its own language. So, English, French, German, whatever it may be. So I'm just seeing them as their own frequency. And how on these different levels, the frequency is communicating with our spirit and bringing the information once again over into the physical, into the brain, so that we can process what the spirit is trying to tell us. Because again, my physical self, it was being born, being raised here in the United States. I was taught English as my language. But I could have been placed anywhere, I could have been born anywhere in the world and been brought up with that particular language. That's human. But I see spirit speak as being different. That when we pass and the soul carries on, it's not like two spirits are going to be talking in the spirit realm in English. They have their own speak. So how does the mind interpret that? So again, as we're looking at the beta, the alpha, the theta, and the delta, again, the alpha being the bridge, that translation into the conscious mind. So this translation, which got me down this rabbit hole. And for some of those of you that know me, we sometimes get into those rabbit holes. So I'm thinking about how the capital letter C, the lowercase c, they carry different energy, a different vibration with them, the capital to the lowercase. When we think about, if somebody were to text us in all caps, for me, it's like, quit screaming at me. Get that caps lock off. So there's that frequency of those letters. Likewise, when I think about cursive, to me, it's just like this beautiful flowing of energy when we're writing. As opposed to when we are printing, and I don't know if this is backwards. So, so let's use mind, M-I-N-D. It's like this stutter, the stop, whatever it is. As opposed to when we are, using cursive, it's that free flow of energy. And it just feels good, at least for me, because I know I'm kind of weird. So yeah, I kind of found myself down that rabbit hole too of how our writing looks when we are in the less than happy mood, and what our writing looks like when we're in a more open, content mood, for example. How even though, somebody can do writing analysis and see we're the same person who wrote it, but there's this shift in the energy by the way in which we're writing. All of this just kind of dovetails back to, so this isn't just about, hey, I have a new service. I wanted to talk about the binaural beats as well, and the brain entrainment of the left and the right. So feel free to Google brain entrainment, binaural beats, research studies with healing and the binaural beats. See what comes up. See if it's something that you are interested in learning more about. And I'm really excited to offer this as a new service for somebody who may be more comfortable in that kind of a state for Reiki session, as opposed to, where I'm walking them through visualization or breath work or soul retrieval or whatever it may be. Yeah. And then you're still engaged in your own healing. One, you came in for session, which is flippin' awesome. Kudos to you for self-care. And when we can work together about whatever the goal, whatever that intention is for session, then you can follow that up at home, going to, whether I send you a link for a particular channel or I send you a track that you can use that's just the one that I use personally with my clients. so that you can continue that at home. So it's not just a one and done kind of thing. You can continually, as often as it feels right for you, to be able to place that goal or the affirmation, whatever it is, within the or the subconscious, to help bring that forward into the conscious mind, into the world around you. And even when I think about things like that, sometimes things happen immediately or overnight, and other times it's just this process. I kind of see like the momentum of the universe going and going, and then it's like, hey, I would really like this. And it takes a moment, right, for the universe to kind of slow itself down to say, oh, okay, let me get on that for you. So this adjusting of the universe to make things happen. Likewise, as the universe is adjusting itself for us, we take responsibility for how much time and energy am I putting into this change that I would like to see, or whatever it is that I'm manifesting. So when we can spend that time into these deeper states of consciousness to bring about the healing. So maybe it feels like small change is kind of a weird word. I know some people are uncomfortable with change because it's still us, just adjusted, right? So maybe there are just these small adjustments on the periphery. But little by little, it's kind of like the butterfly effect, or, you throw a pebble in the pond and, that ripple effect. So sometimes one small change in the long run, the trajectory, then you're going to see that change, or that larger adjustment, if you will. So each step is progress, is more opening. And then we are, with each step forward, with whatever that intention is, whatever that goal is, we are continuously like aligning ourselves with the universe so that we can bring about whatever that change or that adjustment is within our own lives. So anyway, thank you for taking the time to listen. Again, if you're interested, hit book now or get a hold of me. We'll set up an appointment. And otherwise, I hope you're all doing well. Until next time, namaste. See you guys.